Friends, how's it going? Ash here, welcome back to Gents. How are you? It's been a minute since I've talked about a Zara fragrance on this channel, but that changes today because I have one of the most hyped fragrance releases of the year, and it's this one right here, Sand Desert at Sunset. I bought two fragrances from Zara, this one and another one that I'll feature in the not too distant future. It used to be kind of a pain in the butt to get Zara fragrances, we're talking years ago. When Rich, Warm, Addictive was heavily hyped, you actually couldn't order fragrances from Zara's website. You had to physically go into a store, which is a problem if you live somewhere where there's no Zara around, like me. But they've rectified that. I actually rectified it a long time ago, and now you can order it easy peasy, no problem. I'll have this one linked in the description in case you want to check it out. It's gonna run you about 40 bucks. I think technically $39.90 is what I paid for it, because they're weird like that. Not $39.99, $39.90. Okay. Zara is really well known for basically being a clone house of everything. T-shirts, yeah, they're cloning those. Shoes, yeah, they're cloning those. Jeans, jackets, fragrances, it doesn't matter if a designer company makes it or a niche company makes it don't matter. Zara is gonna clone you. That's what they do. And this one is indeed a bit of a clone fragrance. Of course, it is a take on this one, Angel Share from By Kilian. So the question that we're going to answer in today's video is this, at about 40 bucks, the best or one of the best alternatives to Angel Share? I'm also going to be comparing this one a little bit to Camera from Lattafa, since this one is probably the most well-known of the Angel Share clones at this point, and it's roughly in the same price category as the Zara. Depending on where you're shopping, you can typically find Camera between about 40 and 50 bucks. So if the Zara is able to beat out Camera, then that would put this right up toward the top of best alternatives to Angel Share. Let's go ahead and kick things off as usual by taking a look at the presentation. So here we got the box. It has a slip cover, which has a cutout in the middle where you can see the name of the fragrance, the name of the house, and the concentration. It's a 100 ml bottle size. On the back, just a little write-up by the perfumer or the brand. A few more sun rays before the comforting nocturnal embrace. Sounds like something a vampire would say. On the bottom, you have your ingredient information along with your badge code and your barcode. Take the slip cover off, revealing the box within. You have a little sticker that goes over the top of the box that seals it that you have to cut or tear. On the back it says Zara Fragrance Series, just in case you were unaware of what you were buying or where you were buying it from. You have the olfactive family there, floral oriental it says, and then notes, incense, orange bitter, orris, cinnamon, chocolate, tonka, cedarwood. Orange bitter, not bitter orange. No. Is it that? Here. And here we have the bottle. It feels nice and heavy in the hand. Pretty simple. You have the sticker on the front there, again with the concentration, the fragrance, and the brand. Nothing else as far as the bottle goes. On the bottom, you have the badge code etched into the glass. And then the cap is just a little plastic cap. Really, kind of cheap. Doesn't weigh much. It does not click into place. It slides into place. It makes that noise too, apparently. One thing that I noticed with this as soon as it arrived, and I'll show the camera up close there, bit of a leakage issue here. It was leaking a little bit when it came in. I wiped it up, cleaned it up, and it's got leakage problems. Let me see if I can, let me see. So you can see right there along the atomizer, the collar, leakage, not good. And if I recall correctly, it showed that this could be refilled. When I placed the order, it's not on the box anywhere, so maybe I'm completely misremembering that. But I will say that more and more it seems, unless I'm just unlucky, but more and more it seems like new fragrances that have been released here over the past couple of years have had issues with leaking around the collar. I've got a lot of bottles that I've purchased over the years, and it seems like instead of this issue getting better, it's actually getting worse. So that sucks. You don't really want to see that. You don't want to see new fragrances, whether we're talking $40 ones or $150 ones, having constant issues with leaking out from underneath the collar and falling down the side of the bottle and all this mess. Like, nobody wants to put up with that, right? You don't want to open up your fragrance and be like, oh, it's all over my hands now, and I'm losing a lot of what I paid for just running down the bottle. It's a pain. But let's go ahead and spray it on. Let's forget about that for now. There we go. Atomizer's okay. So as I said, this is a clone and alternative to Angel Share. Actually, the same perfumer that did Angel Share did this one. So yeah, kind of interesting. It would appear that Zara pretty much went to the same perfumer and went, hey, you remember that fragrance Angel Share you did? It's like really super popular. You remember that? Would you mind making us something like that? Just on a much smaller budget. Could you do that for me? Thanks, that'd be great. Seems like that's pretty much what's going on here. So with the opening of Sand Desert at Sunset, I've got to say, of these three, I think it has the worst opening. It gets absolutely swallowed up by Angel Share or Kamra. So if you're trying to do like a side-by-side comparison where you spray them on at the same time, this one just gets annihilated. For example, first time I tried this out, doing a side-by-side comparison, sprayed Kamra over here and then sprayed the Zara over here, and Kamra was just like completely enveloping me, to the point that when I would try to smell Sand Desert at Sunset, you know, I'd try to give it a whiff, it was like it was not even there, almost. Same thing with Angel Share, which you would expect because this is way more expensive and it has good performance, but Angel Share, the same thing happens. It just takes over, and Sand Desert at Sunset kind of just like shrinks away and you can barely pick it up. Again, that's when you're doing a side-by-side. So if you wear this by itself, obviously, you'll be able to smell it just fine. It's just when you do a comparison, there's not really much of one when it comes to performance. Well, we'll talk about that more later on. So even just like removing these from the equation as far as like a side-by-side, when you spray this on by itself, I still don't think the opening smells as good as either of these. And for me, on a personal level, it's not close. I will say Kamra is way sweeter than Sand Desert at Sunset. So if you want something that's not as sweet, this will be a better match for you, because Kamra can be like a little heavy-handed with the sweetness, especially off the top. Angel Share is not quite as aggressively sweet as Kamra, but it still is quite sweet. But it has more of like this almost chocolatey, boozy undertone to it, where it doesn't go like full-on sugary sweet. Sand Desert at Sunset, as you might expect by the name, is drier than these two fragrances, and it smells that way right off the top. It has like a little bit of a dustiness to it. I know that incense is an official note, but you don't get like a big waft of smoke or anything like that. Maybe just like a little lingering touch of that in the opening. The orange is not really fresh and sweet. It's maybe ever so slightly green, just kind of along the periphery of the opening. And to me, it just doesn't have as much of a wow factor when you spray it on. It does get way better as it dries down. I think as this hits the dry down, it improves a lot. It takes on more of a chocolatey feel to it, like chocolate and cinnamon, a good amount of cinnamon, frankly. Not as boozy sweet as either of these two. I know I keep saying that, but just to reiterate, in the opening, not as sweet. Also, as it dries down, not as sweet. It's not that it lacks all booziness. It just has noticeably less than either of these two. Instead, it is more, like I said before, kind of a dry, chocolatey, lighter take on Angel Share. It is appealing, smells pleasant, smells really nice in the air. It does, though, have a good amount of drawbacks, in my opinion. The biggest of which is going to be the performance I kind of alluded to before. It is probably the weakest performing of the Angel Share alternatives that I've smelled. Kamra is stronger. Obviously, the original Angel Share is stronger. Kismet Angel is stronger. Cocktail Intense is stronger. Just kind of on and on. It really does settle close to your skin really early on. Now, it lasts for a decent amount of time. You know, it's on your skin maybe 5 hours or so that you can pick it up. Not great, obviously, but it just sits close to my skin so early that it can't really compare. Like I was talking about before, do a side-by-side. Take Kamra or Angel Share or any of the alternatives, spray it over here. You know, 3 sprays, 4 sprays, whatever. Take this, same thing over here. You might as well not even have this on. It's going to be completely just overwhelmed. Legitimately, with Kamra or Angel Share or anything else, you can smell it from here, and then Sand Desert at Sunset, you have to legitimately dig your nose in, and then you go, oh yeah, there's some dry, semi-sweet cinnamon with with chocolate. Yeah, it's there, kind of. And this is not at all to bag on this fragrance because it's obviously loved by a lot of people out there. It's one of the 10 most popular fragrances on Fragrantica for this year. And it has great reviews on there, great ratings. But I think that for the majority of people, what they're looking for in an Angel Share alternative, this probably would be one of the last ones I would recommend. I mean, maybe I got unlucky with the bottle, with the leakage and all that. So even leaving that out, it just doesn't, to me, smell as appealing as any of the big alternatives to Angel Share, and not even close to actual Angel Share. Like the difference in quality between these two, which you would expect, but it's massive. So much more depth and body and complexity to Angel Share. It's just two different universes here. And this is what happens from time to time with Zara fragrances. They'll smell really nice, smell pleasant, smell good, smell similar to something else that you like a lot, so you think, oh, that'd be a great buy. But then you're let down by the performance, whether it's the projection, the longevity, or both. And that's what's going on here. You smell it, and you think, oh, that does smell good. That does smell similar to Angel Share. I like that. Kind of a little twist on it, you know, like a lighter, less boozy, drier, more chocolatey sort of Angel Share, and cinnamon forward Angel Share. But it just doesn't have much oomph to it. And then put side by side, it just falls way back. And for $40, no. I think for 40 bucks, I would go Camera, or I would go Cocktail Intense, or I would go Kismet Angel. I think those three are better. Do be aware though, Cocktail Intense is booze forward, so if this one's cinnamon forward, Cocktail Intense is booze forward. Let's get drunk. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Sand Desert at Sunset. I don't know if I would say I'm disappointed or let down, but it is something that I think there are so many better alternatives out there for the price point. Not that it's expensive, right? It's only 40 bucks, but since we're heading into fall right now, I'll give this some wear this fall, you know, wear it by itself, not comparing it so much to anything else, and just wear it on its own. Gotta see if my opinion changes on it at all, which really, I don't hate it. It's just, it's weaker than all the other ones by a good amount, and I don't like the opening very much. But as it dries down, it's a nice twist on this one, but still, already said that. I'll wear it more this fall, see if my opinion changes a little bit for the better or not. If it does, I'll do an updated video. If not, is what it is. I'll just leave it how it is. So there we go, Zara Sand Desert at Sunset. Smells good, smells pleasant, but there are too many cons versus the competition for me to say that it's like toward the top. It's kind of middle bottom for me as far as clones go for this one. And I know I'm repeating myself here, but I could see this working for one particular type of person looking for an alternative to Angel Share, and that's for somebody looking for a less sweet take on Angel Share, because these are all sweet, and Camera is like super sweet, and Cocktail Intense is more booze forward. So if you were wanting less of that sweetness, but you still wanted kind of an Angel Share vibe, then this could work for you as long as the performance is good for you. So in that aspect, I guess it would be a really good alternative, but otherwise I think the others are better. Okay, finally. Like I kept stepping over myself trying to say the same thing. Thank you guys, I'm out of here. Stay safe out there. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.